you did want to start giving money to Trump, or you did want to start, getting involved in national politics?
Just wanted to get involved, and I wanted to run for Congress at some point. As simple as that, nothing else.
Okay. Which district were you interested in running for?
I wanted to primary George Santos when I knew he was a jerk. But then I thought people were going to think, my friends were going to think I was doing it on purpose because I was upset at him, and that's the only reason that I didn't take a step. Had I done that, probably I would have done a favor to a lot of people, including Republicans.
I see that, you described it in a couple of different bios given for you as the founder of a group called Immigrants for Trump, and I also see something about an Immigrants for America PAC. Immigrants for Freedom. I apologize. Immigrants for Freedom PAC. But I don't see either of these entities registered with the SEC or any other body.
They were registered, and then I didn't do any activity. I didn't raise any money. I didn't do anything. So I think you have to renew it, I think the treasurer said, and that's probably why you don't see them.
Yeah, I guess there needs to be an initial filing for these committees.
No, there should have been one for sure.
Right,
I just never raised money. Like I never had time to take it seriously, basically. So that's done.
Well, let me ask. I did take a look at your website. You said your website is 3 years out of date, or almost 3 years out of date, on real estate listings. It seems like, I can see, maybe some apartment rentals are listed, I think, on Street Easy, which I know is the major...
Okay, let me ask you something. What's the purpose of this investigation? Because number one, you're asking questions like you're the IRS or you're a State Department that I have no choice but to answer. I'm answering you as a courtesy, just so you were clear, just because I haven't done nothing wrong and I know who put you up to this. But my question is, what is the purpose of your investigation?
I came across you in association with George Santos.
There's no way. It is not. No, there's no way. Because you're referring to things for Albania that has nothing to do with George Santos. George Santos didn't even probably know.
I then, as I began to look at you, I came to realize you were an interesting person in your own right. Had been involved in some very interesting things. I don't know if you saw, I did a recent story, of course, we're in the midst of the scandal of the Evi government with the former FBI counterintelligence director in New York.
Yeah.
I don't know if you saw, I did an article about Senator Menendez in New Jersey and a gentleman named Godsman Lita, whose brother is, I believe, an Albanian Democratic Party politician. So I've actually had for a little bit of a while an interest in Albania.
Okay, all right, that's fine. I don't bite, but that's fine. I mean, I have no problem answering. I just want to, the way that where your story is going, I am telling you, I hope you're not being set up by people that hate Berisha so much, okay? Because then I was going to say, go and ask those people, what is your beef with Berisha? Like, you need to start there, because that is something that needs to be investigated. Because I've never seen somebody profoundly hating someone the way that they did, number one. Number two, in Albania, I was supporting the opposition, because they were killing the opposition. They were literally suffocating the opposition. And honestly, it has to do with Edi Rama, the prime minister, and the pressure they were putting through the FBI to the opposition leaders. Okay? Not that the opposition leaders didn't do anything wrong. That's another story. Like the former chairman of the opposition party, he had a file on the FBI. Well, there's a reason for it. So as far as I'm concerned,
there are certainly efforts, both formal by famshmja, by Prime Minister Rama, by certain individuals that like the Lita brothers, to have contact with American political figures and influence in American policy. And again, this is an area of interest for me. So if I just may take a step back, we were discussing a moment before. The last big property sale that I see, and I contacted some folks
this is my personal life. It goes in my personal life. There's no way I'm going to explain in details. Plus, not everything that we do goes in the website anyway. But that's beyond the point. After COVID, I've been the only one running the office. As for the rest of the income, it goes to the private life, and I'm not going to discuss that. But absolutely nothing illegal. If you think that you're going to dig something illegal, and let me tell you something. If you had George Santos, like you say, you have been investigating him from a year ago when you were so behind on the story. New York Times did it so fast. I got to tell you, you got to do a better job on digging. No offense, but really, you need to do a better job in digging.
I mean, I can only say I published my first story about George Santos back in April of last year.
That's what you said, 2022. Why didn't this pick up? Why didn't this create the issues that the New York Times article did? Like New York Times just, just took off tremendously.
Well, if I may just to move back, so, how many people were employed in your office sort of prior to the pandemic?
I'm not going to answer that either.
Okay.
I'm just trying to understand. I'm not going to answer things that you're going to spin it the way that you want, okay?
Yeah, I want to give you a chance to speak to all of these issues.
But these are not. What's an issue? What's an issue in here?
Well, again, you have gotten deeply involved in political activism.
So.
In the past years,
but is this illegal?
It's not. No, I mean, as far as at this point, I cannot say that you've done anything illegal.
Okay.
However,
okay.
I think whenever, if I may, forgive my sentence. Whenever you need to see somebody very suddenly become involved in politics who was not deeply involved in politics, particularly when it takes, it occurs in multiple countries, you see that person, suddenly rise to a prominence. I do see you were, sort of invited on One American News to talk about Dominion voting, and that wound up in the lawsuit that Sparkmatic brought. You seem to have just sort of arrived on the scene very suddenly.
Okay.
And it seems to have occurred just as your real estate business was sort of in a bit of a lull. And I have to ask at that point, well, how is this person able to become so active and spend weeks and months at a time in Albania? And also,
I didn't spend months. I've spent 2, maximum 3 weeks at a time, and I've been there like 5 times in the past year and a half. Before that, I've been in Albania in 2019 for 10 days, and before that, I've been in Albania in 2006 for a week, and before that, I've been in Albania in 1998. So in 20-something years, I've been in Albania 20 days. If you think that my involvement in politics in America has something to do with Albania, you're losing your mind. Because if that was the case, I would have been part of Basha's lobbying, okay? And I have been fighting Basha and his lobbying techniques for a very long time, okay? He had a file in the FBI for some $500,000. Just if you Google it, you're going to see an article on Mother John.
I saw it.
Okay, so that has been an issue for me. And number one. Number two, I would never lobby for another country or government or anything else, because lobbying is the worst kind of job you can have anywhere, especially in politics, just because it's so complicated and you can get in trouble so fast like you have no idea. And I'm not going to get in trouble in America. I have an excellent life. I have a beautiful life. I have a personal life. I have a business life. I have a political life. And I have plenty of friends, and I'm just not going to get involved in stuff like that. But again, if I was lobbying for anyone in Albania, the fact that I'm pretty much against everybody in politics right now in Albania, and everybody knows. And this is why I have more support than everybody else, because I'm speaking the truth, and I'm not taking money from anyone. I even said it to their convention. I had the speech in their convention, and I said I'm not going to be part of this party. I am a free spirit. I'm a free person, and I want to stay free. And this is why, because now I can turn around and just tell it as it is against, for example, Berisha, which I supported for the interest of opposition over there. But as far as business goes, I do have investments. I do work, okay, in real estate. I do work very long hours when I'm in New York, and I also enjoy getting involved in politics. And I will stay in politics, being in America or in Albania. but I will never do anything that is against the law, and that's all it is to it. So you can keep digging and just make sure that you're not being put up on this by people that have their own agenda. That's all I'm saying.
Well, I appreciate your concern, but if I may, has Golden Key been involved in a major property transaction since the sale of 2815 34th Street in January 2019?
Yes.
What is the address?
I'm not giving you details, sir.
You talk about investment. What sort of investments are we talking about?
I'm sorry. Real estate investments.
I see. Well, I do see you are associated with the property at 3605 Denmark Boulevard, where Golden Key at least was registered at one point. Are there other properties that you're involved with?
Yes.
Can you share those properties with me, please?
Nope.
Are all those properties associated with Mr. Manuel Santos?
Not going to answer it.
Okay.
I'm sure you have access to database the same way that we do. I'm sure you can. Okay, so there's nothing to hide. It's public records. I'm not going to talk. I'm not going to give you information that I shouldn't be. You shouldn't be asking, honestly. But anyway, because it seems like you're doing an investigation of all my friggin' life, and I can tell you something. The guys in Albania, when I was supporting the opposition, did the same thing for a year and a half, and they couldn't come up with anything, starting from the time that I was 5 years old. Okay, they went to my childhood friends and high school and every single thing, my trips here and people in here, community in here in America. So, just do what you got to do. I have zero problem. I just wanted you to I just want to make sure that you understand that when you publish something, it is truth. Okay? It's not just something that you come across. Everything looks interesting if you look into certain stuff until you understand them. So I'm just saying, be careful with verifying everything that you post or publish or whatever it is. That's about it. Nothing else.
No, I appreciate that. I think we've covered everything I wanted to ask you, but if I have any follow-ups, I'll give you a call on this number.
That's fine, absolutely.
All right. Thank you very much. I hope you have a good day.
You as well. Thanks so much.